Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of the Brewer's Advent Calendar. Before we begin, as much as I hate being wrong, a fairly credible source, at least when it comes to beer, has brought to light some inaccuracies that I made in one of my previous videos. More particularly, the video where I talked about the purity law of 1516. If I recall, I said that the purity law of 1516 states that they use only 3 key ingredients in making their beer, which was water, barley, and hops, which is true. However, I did say that that particular beer that I was tasting and the beer that was the day before that contained no yeast, which is wrong because every single beer that is brewed contains yeast. But I did want to clarify that that yes, the key ingredients are barley, water, and hops. But then back in 1516, they just didn't recognize yeast as an ingredient back then. They didn't know that yeast was getting in their beer, and it was actually one of the most important ingredient in brewing. It wasn't until the 19th century that they recognized yeast as an ingredient. Now, I'm not sure whether why they omit the yeast from their ingredients, whether they still use the process of open fermentation, or yeah, that is outside the scope of my research. But just know that yes, all beers contain yeast, and if you drink a lot of beer, you should probably already know that. But yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that with you guys. So moving on, our beer for today, beer number 6, is called Graminger Deife. Graminger is a district in Atlanting, Bavaria, somewhere in Bavaria, where there's a brewery which is mainly run by women. There's 2 brewmasters named Sabine Detter and Birgit Strasser, and a restaurant specialist, Iris Detter. And they've won 1 bronze and like 5 gold awards for their beer. So this particular beer is a Marzen. A Marzen comes from the month of March. And to give you a little history, basically, in order to brew bottom fermented beers, temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit is necessary. And before refrigerators were invented, they couldn't brew beer during the summer. And as such, March was the last time they can brew beer that'll last them throughout the summer. And as such, they tend to brew something that's a little stronger, because stronger beer would be more durable. Can you imagine not like running out of beer during the summer? Can you imagine how many more wars we would have had if there was a shortage of beer during those times? Yeah. Anyway, so as such, the color of this is a little amber, which we will see. Although alcohol percentage is alright, it's 5.6. So yeah, it does have a little more amber golden color, and it is pretty clear though. It's good. It's a little more on the bitter side than the lagers we've had in the last couple of days. But aside from that, it's pretty good. I was a little disappointed with the stout yesterday, so this brings it back up, my expectation. Yep. This one's a yes for me. This beer has prevented a lot of wars that we would have had. So, thank those women who made this. Anyway, bye!